Hey everyone, this is Gus. Welcome to my new transmission, the COVID-19 transmission actually. Sorry, it's a bad joke. Well, welcome to my new transmission. And this day we are going to continue with our old little fella, the Samurai Mice, with a call Mr. Maisogusawa or something like that. And yeah, let's start it after this. First off, I promised last time show you what is my sketchbook about anatomy. I guess remember doing anatomy. So yeah, um, when you are studying anatomy, there is a bunch of courses, but the first one, the most important part, is that you have to practice. Because if you don't practice, you will soon, you know, forget that. Not that you have a bad memory. Many artists have a photographic memory, which is very helpful when you are designing or when you are creating things. Or we are creating things out of nothing. Actually, ex nihilo nihilo est. That means from nothing, nothing comes out. That means, yeah, you always have something in your brain, something that helps you out, that triggers the effect or triggers the creation of the character. So you always have something in your head. And the last time I showed you how using the same ideas of human anatomy, you can just apply to these mice, you can say, or a rat or a cat or even an alien, and you can just create something based in the human anatomy and the bone structures and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, let's see this. It's for example, many guys who knows about this. This is how you can measure and how you can do the basic skeleton. So you are doing a basic skeleton. Also, you can just you know jump up to using a skeleton. Now we are using a skeleton, a real one, and you are starting, watching the differences between men and women. Okay, that is the best for you to watch it. Yeah, see, men and women, positions, and this is only a skeleton. See, this is skeleton, and I used to write notes in there, different positions, using perspective. They don't look like a super stylized at that time, but true is later on they will. You can use the same skeletons and make some movements there. Then the muscles, let's see, pectoral muscles and intercostal muscles. I mean in the ribs. More muscles. And also it's an exercise for you to know about shadows. Many of these courses are pretty much digital. They are using like a digital something, like a digital product. I mean, like a digital program like Photoshop or Clear Studio Paints in the best cases, or another program. But I prefer to using it by hand because by hand you can just calculate, you start, exercising pressure. Good thing about exercising pressure is once you do in paper, you can just do it in the other places. See, you're studying the different muscles, legs, gluteus. Yeah, that's more crispy. See, legs and gluteus. You are just off starting many muscles, forearm, and so on in the hand. You can do some representation, some ideas, movement. And also full bodies using but you just learn about muscles. And this is the part where we are using the mannequins, so we know what kind of we use. And yeah, these mannequins for men and women, etc. So that is the regular kind of sketchbook that I use. When I use those sketchbooks, well, because it's practice. You can practice either digital or either traditional. It doesn't make any difference, you know, because at the end of the day, this is pretty much similar. Not as much as similar as many people think, but it's similar because you're using also pressure to detail lines and that kind of stuff. Okay, so this tutorial is going to be how to paint this little fella that we did last week. So the name is Mouserakawa. Mouserakawa. Somehow. Yeah, I just named that guy based on the Tokugawas. You know, for those who doesn't know much of Japanese history, was the last guy who held the shogunate in 1600s through pretty much 19th century. So it was one family that was the shoguns. Shoguns weren't that like kings or emperors in Japan because they already have emperors. So the shogun was the high guy who said, I'm gonna be like the Lord Protector of the realm, which is I'm gonna be the king and the real emperor is held hostage by my family. So if the emperor don't want to die, I better govern and the emperor, you know, he can do the king stuff, but he's not governing the law. I'm doing it. So that was a Tokugawa stuff. So that is the very interesting kind of story about Japan, the medieval Japan, all pretty much until the end of the Meiji era, which is pretty much 20th century. So okay, let's start doing this. Before that, um, thank you for being with me. I'm going to let me guess. Let me get my chat. I'm gonna have my chat. Yeah. Okay, my chat is. Yeah. Somebody's watching me right now. That's cool. Thank you so much. Oh, let me get back to my OBS and put my registry chat. And let me just. Today we will color. Okay, so let's go back to the, okay, we have that. Oh, before that, let me remind you, I'm going to try to make this into a tutorial for those who has Clip Studio Paint and they are just wondering how can I color in this? Because all the colors that you can see, many, not 100%, many of the Clip Studio Paint users are mangakas. That means guys who does mangas or anime. And there's two kind of well, actually just one is pretty much for manga is some kind of cell shading, with the cell shading is just something that I just gonna show up, and the other kind is more refined illustration. We are gonna try to do a mix between both the more refined illustrations and the cell shading. And also, let me tell you, I've been doing traditional illustrations, no animes, no manga, but traditional illustration on clear studio paint, and I know that it's possible. There's a bunch of these brushes pretty much done with clear studio paint by and pretty much mostly by Japanese users, and they are in Japanese. They are in kanji scripture, and I had no idea how to decipher that because I don't know Japanese. But anyway, if you Clear Studio Paint is somebody from Clear Studio Paint watching this, I hope it is. I will appreciate it then, make a proper translator in their program. So we Westerners that have no idea how to write Japanese or Chinese characters, please help us out. We like to have those beautiful brushes they have there because we are artists. The artist community like to interact between each other. It doesn't matter the language barrier. But uh, there is many of this stuff that is practically in Japanese, and I would love, and many of us will love, is clearly Japan just to stand up and put a proper translation button there. Not only translation, what is this, but translation everything. And just ask the guys that you can use Google Translate. It doesn't matter. Sometimes you are using just universal words in Google. So universal words, that means they are just regular Japanese, regular Chinese. It's not like a slang or something. I don't write slang. I'm not talking slang when I'm talking English. Because I know that there's many guys that probably are not even from America. They're just watching me. And by the way, English is my second language. I am pretty much Spanish, so I talk Spanish half of the time in my household. Anyway, so let's go to this, shall we? So we are gonna go to my little fella, okay? By the way, that is my Adgas Duenas. That is my Twitter channel. Please go there and subscribe to my Twitter. I will appreciate it. I'm always publishing works in my Twitter, and I will start. I'm being so lazy. I will start doing a lot of this publishing, but not only works, but whips. I mean, work in progress. I have a lot of. This guy was one of those. Well, as remember to the guys last week, this was one of the stages of creating a character. One is your rough. So the rough sketch or rough is, hence the word rough. That means it's not like a fine, refined, or super prepared. It's just a rough. So you know where the shadows are, what is the kind of figure we're using, the pose, the mechanics. You know that with that sketch. But uh, let me get a little more comfortable. That's the problem when you have one of those chairs with the wheels, and you are over the carpet. Not very good design. Somebody has to step up and design wheels for carpet. I will appreciate that a lot. I would love it. Thank you. And let me put my glove. And as I told you, this guy is the rough. If you want to see the refine is this. The refine is pretty much line art, just line art, no shadows. Why? Because you are gonna put the shadows when you are doing the painting. And also there is many stuff that probably you are just left off and you just don't even notice. because this is the rough art, and the rough art is so distracting sometimes. It's pretty cool, but it's so distracting sometimes. I probably it's my impression, but I have the impression that my rough sketches looks way better than my paintings. Okay, so I'm better at creating and conceptualizing characters than painting them. But anyway, oh, you are better than me in that. So yeah, this is my the character. One on the steps to paint this guy, to color this guy is let's go to do the flats. But to doing the flats, let's gonna do first something like let me show you like this. Okay, so to do the flats, we have to do no, have to be very careful about that. Ah, by the way, let me go to my mood board, which is my real collection of the stuff that I have there and the stuff that I like to do. And I need a real collection. I have a real collection of poses. Let me see, where's my samurai? I need my rat and my samurai. Yeah, I have the rat here. Okay. And next thing is I might need my samurai. And where do I put the samurai? It should be in some place. Nice places for you to see stuff is DeviantArt, Pinterest, which is my favorite because you in Pinterest you have a bunch of stuff from DeviantArt, from ArtStation, from everywhere. Oh yeah, this is my samurai. So yeah, this is my running, and I have my running here. You're gonna see the guy, but let me show you. This is the running. Okay, and let me show you the rat. Well, actually, it's a mice. This is the mice. So why are you using this mice? I'm using this mice pretty much for colors, for the texture, and yeah, for some sort of stuff. This is what I call my mood board. Okay, so let me go first for the mice. So let me show you one technique that I saw a long time ago for somebody in YouTube that it makes sense because one technique is try to create little part of the object, making different layers and painting one to each other particularly. That is one technique. The other technique, the one that I love the most, is this. Let me show you. First, you go to this place. You go to whatever the place you are. Yeah. And make this. Oh, we have a problem, Houston, here. For some reason, he is. You see this? That means there is an opening in some place. There is an opening in some place. It's an opening that is showing. Here's an opening. So what you're gonna do is you see an opening. Well, you have to close it because you need this closed. Okay, let me see. Close it. Another more. Close it. Oh, let me put this in black actually. Okay. Yeah. Close it. Mm-hmm. That was closed. This guy doesn't need much to be closed. So let's start again. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. For some reason, it is in some place. So this guy here, see, if something is inside, that means that selection get inside. So it should be some place here where this guy is not close. This is one, this is two. Also, this guy here, this guy here. This close. This guy here. Oh, this guy here. Yes, a little extra job, but it's nice. See? Because you start, it doesn't matter whatever your style is, you will start being a little more, conscious about what you're doing. See? Where's it? The tail. So let's see now. For some weird reason, this is like, entering. Because pretty much my problem is in some part here. They have pincher in some part. This is close, this is close, this is close, this is close. This is close. This is completely closed. See? It's not even getting inside. This part is closed too. Yeah, this part is closed too. Let me see. Who is the problem? This part is closed. Oh, that is the problem. I just found it. Okay, continue. This is a problem too. No problem anywhere. Yeah, let's see this guy here. See, it's coming inside from some place. So my problem is in some place. I know it's not in the tail. It should be in some place here. Oh, this is a problem. I just forgot this. So let me make first. Let's do duplicate of these guys, and then we have this duplicated. Let me get and merge these guys. Okay, and let me get rid of this. Now let's see. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Yeah, that was the problem. What's the problem is I have two layers, one on top of each other, and those two layers were different. Dummy. Now it's perfect. Yeah. 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 We have the everything outlined. So once we have this outline, I mean, we are going to go to select, invert the selected area. So we have a little fella here. We make a new layer or whatever. We just get rid of this guy, and one of the go here, and one of this. Let's just make this guy white. Yeah, make this guy totally white. So it's totally white. Yeah, I know. By the layers, it's totally white. And let me make a new layer here. here pretty much. And let me make this layer a little gray. It's gonna be like this. No, no, two, two, two. Yeah, this is way better. So yeah, okay. Hmm. Oh yeah, yeah. Now we have this guy. Yeah, it's perfect. Now let me put. Oh no, you are not supposed to be here. Let me put this guy. Yeah, that's the complete line art. So we have the line art. So now we have separated this guy from the background, so we know what parts are not colored. So let's do this a little more flat, which is, for example, this is this guy. Uh, Let me get this guy here and let me lock it. Yeah, because I'm not gonna use anything there. So let's do this guy here, okay? And then we will do this, and we'll do this, which is the minus. Oh, Control C. Okay, select inverse selected area. This is a little bothering because most of the time this is what you are not want to do. So let's say this. Okay. Yeah, this is sometimes this um, sometimes this is very boring, this part. Sometimes this is a very boring part. Oh, okay, now I got it. me see this guy. No, no, this guy here. There's another way to do this, but I prefer this. One of those is using this part here and using this as a reference layer. So you can just, oh, so you can just, based on that, do your reference, use that as a reference layer. So whatever is gonna be there, so whatever is gonna be there, it is. It will start basing based pretty much on the. So what I'm doing is pretty much creating a mask. It's something I don't like much about Clear Studio Paint is the faculty that this thing has to confuse you. So yeah, this is the parts that I don't want it. So what I'm gonna do is get in there. I'm doing this in the paper. So we are going to do this, and we're gonna do Control X. I hear something. Okay, so we're gonna do Control X. Oh yeah. Oh. Layer one. This one is, from this layer up. Okay. So in this one, I'm gonna make like. Mm-hmm. See, this is what I call the flags. So we have the flags there. This is the flags for the mice. Yeah. So, for example, I'm gonna use dense watercolor for this, but it's a small one because I want this to be to the full extension of this, and I don't want this because that's the problem when we are creating a mask solely using whatever layer is instead. We're doing this. See, this is an extra step that we have to do, to ensure that this guy is properly done. I need this mask because the other can be in another style. I used to do this style. Let me tell you about this style. The style that I like to do is pretty much, I'm gonna try to paint this guy, the part of the tail, the part of the face, as detailed as possible. But the clothes can be a little, you know, sketchy, you can say. Yeah, the clothes can be a little sketchy, faster. So they have a different, that's what I'm going to do. Okay, next step is let's create another one. And this layer is also, part of this layer. Yeah. What? Oh, who is this guy? Who is this guy? This guy is here. Okay. So, delete. Let me delete this too much layers. I don't know why I have so many layers here. Let me put this another layer. Okay, we have another layer here, and we want this guy also to be part this layer here. So it's also part of this layer. I don't know why it is not in there. Hmm. Delete. Delete. Okay. So we create another layer. So this another layer is for the clothes. So let me see the clothes. Clothes are grayish, but like a greeny kind of stuff. So what I'm gonna do is try to keep with this greeny stuff, but try to make them a little more, more artsy. Let me see if I can do that. So yeah, okay. Guess I have this here. So let me show you here. So it's gonna be a little more. It is. Yeah. So we're still using the dense watercolor. See, since I'm using a mask, it's not getting, you know, outside of this realm, and it's not getting into the skin. Why is that? Okay, let me show you. Let me explain why. Because I'm using the mask, and the skin is the only thing that it doesn't need any mask. So since the skin doesn't need any mask, I can do whatever I want. Yes and no. So yeah, this is pretty much the flat part. Let me make this guy a little more for this part. Yeah, okay. And a little more grayish. This part here. I need this a little more. This is my fast method to colorize this thing. Yeah, you can use a lot of balls here. At the end of the day, it will pay off. So this is the base colors for me. So once I got into colorizing every one single of them, every single one of them, I will start. There's a bunch of methods, but the method that they are using pretty much in the videos and are sitting on is for you to do this, but that is the but. There's always a but. They have this like two, 3 or 4 times speed. So what you're watching there is not real time. Is something that they just speed up because of the time, because they don't want this to be that kind of YouTube or that kind of stuff. So this is the first stage, pretty much the first stage of painting. It's called flats. So you are using the flats right now. There's many ways to do flats. There's many ways to use it in Photoshop or Illustrator. This is the fastest for me because I'm using not much colors. When you are working in concept art, pretty much in character creation, and they ask you to paint the character, even though using just flats, which is this, you have to have into account that you need not many colors. Why? Because the more colors you have, is the more complicated for you to paint. It will take you so much time. And if you are doing like animation or something, it's not doing like a 2D animation. Having too many colors in just one character is super complicated. It's so complicated that you have to find some ways to do it without using so many resources. Because for many people, using that means that they have to spend a lot of time using every single cell. Even though you find a method, probably in any program, but true is so many frames. It's like 30 frames per second, 24 frames per second, which is required for cinema. So the more frames per second you have, the more times you have to repeat the character. So if you have a palette of 3 or 4 colors, which is great, but we are not doing this. Right now, what we are doing is having this guy to do like some sort of illustration concept art. But just take into account, if you want to do that, could be a nice idea to have it the other way. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Here, for example, this is 2 colors. Yes, in this area. Yeah, I know. 2 colors is so you can just go here and do 1 color and 2 colors. Something that I just learned from Americans is the necessity of go shortcuts. They do shortcuts for everything. if you see with European comics, they don't do shortcuts. They don't care about shortcuts at all. So let's see, these guys are black. So let me do something like this for these guys here. Um, Let me get this bigger. Okay, we're finishing the swords. For example. Oh, no, no, no. That part, no. That part. Okay. Let me get the other sword. Which is gonna be easier because it's just one part here. See? We're not touching the hands. Most problematic part because voila, these are the flats. That's what you have in the flats. Okay, so let's go again and let me show you a quick demonstration about cell shading. Cell shading, what is cell shading? You are using like the comics, for example. Let me get a new one here. For these comics. Oh, okay, this is gonna be, yeah. What is cell shading? Let's see, we have black. Let's use a little blacking. Cell shading is this. I don't do this perfect because it's just something for you to watch. What we wanna do here. Usually use black, or they can use whatever color they want. So, so you go here and you just make this a little more. So this is cell shading. Okay. So here in the cell shading, you can just make a little more, and it's gonna look like this. This. This cell shading. Okay, this is the kind of stuff that you find in manga. See, in anime. Not that perfect, not that part, but pretty much something like that. That is, my friends, cell shading. You are using just like a mask, and it's pretty much used in manga and in some comics. Not all of them, but some comics. And it's a nice technique that was perfected by these guys in the 30s and 40s. Pretty much, it's using uh, Disney's Snow White and probably Cinderella. Yeah, probably Cinderella. You'll see some shading there. And it was a technique because it's easier to do these kinds of shadows instead of using something way more terminated. Today we have 3D. That means we color it something with something resembles a skin. So whatever is the light we just put in front of the object, it will make the 3D three dimensionality, the 3D out of that. But at that time, they have pretty much that and the artist. So this is this is the way the cell shading is working. I'm gonna delete this because I don't need cell shading, and I'm gonna use my little fella, the rat. Okay, let's go back to the rat. So oh fella, the rat has like these colors. It's like an orangey. So this is the part of my fella, the rat. I'm gonna make like 2 or 3 parts of this because this is something that I just learned and I like to share with you. First, before using just paint, let's do some shadows because I want some. I don't want this. This color is too much, and I want this to be like this. It's mad about this because you can always see. So with this shadows, actually, you are doing some three-dimensionality of the subject. Let me go a little more this. Again. Oh, no, so you can do this. Come, and make it smaller. Okay. So once we have this is the values. This is how I want this to work. Then I will make another layer. This layer is gonna be with this guy. And what I'm gonna do is just put in front of that layer. Now I know what I want. I can start making with my dense watercolor. Okay, so the next step is do some of these guys to see what am I doing right now. Okay, so now that's pretty much like a little cute face. Okay, remember one thing. I'm using pretty much out of the box brushes from Create Studio Paint. I'm not using my own brushes. This is not the brushes that I'm just downloaded. This is stock brushes. So you are just learning how to color this using stock brushes because I'm using the dense watercolor, whatever the dense watercolor that comes out with Create Studio Paint. I'm not using any kind of another brush like a super special ones or something like this. I just doing the dense watercolor that comes with Create Studio Paint. So yeah, why am I doing this? Because I want to see how the fur I'm going to start, you know. So if you guys have a computer or something of hand and you're watching this, my um, my advice will be, yes, start, you know, start doing something like, let's start drawing. You can draw with me. And if you want, guys, I can just put in the description, there's a link to a Photoshop image or a TV image of this little fella just in the line art stage, so you can just use your own knowledge and your own expertise and color this thing, and you will tell me, you will show me how it looks like. I will appreciate that a lot. See, and the other we're going to do again more dense watercolor. Of course, mine doesn't have this. You have noticed I just don't care much about red mice. Yeah, looks more like a rat. Next time I promise you do a more cute mice. Probably something that looks more like a real life mice. So this is I'm using a real mice as a model, so just trying to mimic whatever he has here for my style. And this is how it looks. So yeah, let me go again. See my things here. Small ones. Yeah, that way. These are little tricks that you can just pick in from time to time. Watching videos on YouTube, getting your own, classes. There is not many classes from Korea Studio Paint that I know of. Mostly all the time the things that I see in guys doing, you know, concept art or character creation or character design, whatever you want to call this. Well, for me, this is concept art because it's concept. This thing never existed before, so it's a concept. For me, doing this. Thank you, Konya. Uh, it looks cute in a samurai kind of way. So let's do some more of this. A little more here. And I just watch something here. Okay, looks nice. But I just want something here, and I can just erase it. Oh no, not in the place I want to be. I can just erase it here. Because actually, mice or rats or whatever eyes are not that way you know to be true. I'm not that way. So I just now the eyes looks way better. Yep. And well, you can make something like this. The eyes. Hmm, it has like a small finger here. Okay. And if you want, a little more of this. So it's not completely, so it's not completely black. Okay. Yeah, now it looks better, way better. So let's do this. So let's do this a little more because I was doing this.
Yeah, it looks more like a mice. So pretty much, yeah, it looks like that. I love it. Okay, so let's start. Okay. Why I'm using this so small? Well, because I can I can blend the parts that exactly want to blend, and the others can be less blend but noticeable, as you can see here. So let's go to this part here, because my friend have this like this, and this other parts are white. hmm And this part is like this. Okay, let's do the blending. I need more blend here.
Okay, looks way better. So this is our mice. Okay, now it looks way better. Um, so when we are with this part, we're going to come back to the other part, which is little fingers. Mhm. I don't want the fingers to be perfect, but I just want the little fingers to have some 3D, some depth, some light apply, some shadows. So here using this. Oh, right way. Oh, okay, whatever. Label this guy. My cute little fingers are usually like a pinkish or reddish, according to the picture I have. But let me get this like this and very small. And they have hair there, but it's pretty much like a white hair, like a vellum. But for because we're trying to do this faster, we're not doing that. So let's try using this. Oh, yeah. It's smaller. Yep. Okay. Yeah, I need it. 3D there. That's the depth. Okay. Okay. Now we have the tail. I usually same color. So let's do the tail. Ah, big one. A little more. Okay. Okay. That's nice. Okay.
That you see? Looks way better. Now we're coming for this part here. So let's do something here. So now we are going for the part of the my little fellas. Well, where's my the samurai? Okay, now I need more of the samurai. So color. Let's do the color of this guy. I mean this color. But yeah, this is gonna be like a little shading. Not exactly cell shading, but as this is gonna looks like. Then I will apply everything that I have here. Okay. Okay. Oh yeah, a little fella has this. I have to be very careful because I'm not using a different layer for these guys. I'm pretty much using the layer that is here. And then a little more specular shadow. Well, the specular shadow is in the other side. But with a little more of this shadow here too. No, just a little more dark in some part like this. Yeah, I should have done the layers. So if you are trying this, you better do the layers. It's gonna be a little more time consuming, but in the end, you won't have to rely on your ability to not do this. So yeah, let me see my little fella. So we're gonna do this. This is, I need it smaller. I don't need it too big. So yeah, yeah. Okay, let's see this. So I was telling you guys that the brushes that I'm using are pretty much stock brushes from Click Studio Paint. There is actually a bunch of these custom brushes that you can just find in the Click Studio website or even in your program if you're using Click Studio Paint. But as I told you, many of them are difficult to translate because they're in Japanese. So I have no idea what they're talking about in those brushes. I wish I could, but to be honest, I don't know Japanese. I like it, but I don't know. And I'm using right now these brushes and using also the blenders to have these effects because many of those brushes they already behave like oil brushes. So you don't do the blenders with a blender on the oils if you want it, but also you can just do like with the pure and wet colors. You can do your own gradations. But this brushes doesn't have it. This is the stock brushes. But feel free to use whatever brush you have or whatever the style you have. This is my style, so I cannot tell you how to do yours. But this is the approximation that I'm doing. I'm using watching because I have uh, because uh, I have an image, a picture of a human samurai in clothes, so I can use the color to translate to mine. But you are free to use your own designs. So if you guys agree and you like the idea, what we can do is next time, if you guys are next time if you guys want it, I can put in the. I'm gonna edit this. Well, not actually editing, but I'm going to uh, put some tags and something about this video. So if you guys like, just put in the messages or in the in the chat, and I put the outline of this the Mouserakawa, so you can just paint it of your own style. of the way you want it more. So yeah, this guy looks way better. Yeah, looks nice. So let's do next. Let me let me see. Wow, 1 hour and 29. No, it's not bad. So let's. So that for the next time I'm gonna use right now. I'm gonna use the. I'm gonna start painting the belt, and final is gonna be the katanas. But now is the belt. So I'm gonna be painting the belt. The belt are the same as the pants. So you go here. You have a tablet. You just have to put the alt, and you have the eyedropper. So in the eyedropper, I know what color it is, so I can just make a little and do some shadows here, some values. A little more values here for you to have. Okay, so this is, yeah, this is a good color. Okay, so let's do, okay, this. Okay, let's do a little more. Okay, now looks way better. So this is the part. Let me see. I can do something here too. For example. Yeah, that's way better. Little lines, it's incredible what a little white lines can do for your design. Mm-hmm. Way better. So let me see how the people is watching this. Okay, so let's do. Oh, I promised to show you. Yeah, I'm gonna do something interesting with this. So next time we're in this area, so we are gonna do a different one because I wanna do just the palms in a different part. So let me show you how to do the pants in a different way. First, we have the color. So we go to the carcass. We just start doing like this guy was. So shading. We see the values. We know what the values here. Why? Because we have this. See? And if you don't like it, we can always do this. And we can always send this guy to the back. So we can just watch him. See? Okay. So this is, it looks way better, right? So now let me do a little more dark. Go so more the shadows in this part. That I want to actually make this with some grays, blues and grays. That's the way I want. Okay, let me show you this real trick. So this is one kind of color. So you can just color this way, which is a more traditional way. There's another ways to color. One of those is pretty much gray.
you can just use gray colors. I mean, whatever, just for black to white, whatever the gradation, using a millions of colors of grays. Once you have the grays, you have to separate that. You have to be very careful. You have to separate each one on like layers. Once you have the layers separated, you have to color those layers. You have to go Control B, which is the color thing in Photoshop. Also, there is another color in Clip Studio Paint, which I don't know much about which one is. Layer. It should be in some place. I did. Colorize technology. We have the colorize, and also we have the use more advanced color settings. Yeah, so you can just use that, or you can just go, as I'm doing, for the more traditional approach, which is, according to my experience, more rewarding and also more nice. It's nicer. More nice doesn't exist, sorry. It's nicer, it's a nicer way. But also you have to understand that this approach, many people don't like it. Said, no, I don't like much that approach. I like to, because I'm controlling the values and that kind of stuff. But the truth is, we are not painting values, we are painting in colors. So the colors have different values, yeah, but it's the value of the color. Is not the value of the black and white. Because the value of the black and white and the grays, see, a little fella is looking way better. So the values of black and white and the grays are not exactly the same. Are just like a little more plain for that kind of colors. But when you try to convert it into another color, like let's say like a bluish, like this, you will have just one variation of the blue, not all the variations of blue. I have like two, three, or more colors here mixed because I need that effect. Because that effect, that's what is dictating the color. That's what is dictating the texture, and that is how the light actually is working. But for many people, they prefer the other place, the other way, and they are 100%. They are the experts in that. I've tried to use one time. I probably is a Viking, is an elf actually that I put in my airstation.com, airstation.com/gasduenas, and I just put it in there. And yeah, it looks very good, but you need to be an expert. Actually, you have to be an expert. So this little tutorial is showing you step by step how to color one piece using Clear Studio Paint, and I'm not using manga or traditional kind of stuff. I'm just using this and the way that I like it more. And let me put some legs here. So yeah, it looks way better. And now let me show you one thing that Clip Studio Paint has, and it's so cool for colorizing stuff like this little fella here. Let me show you this. What is this? Oh, it's here. So, color patterns. Do I have color patterns? Wow, I have a bunch of patterns. I need something like Japanese. Oh, this one looks super cool. See? It's so big. Yeah. It doesn't matter. What you're gonna do is this. You're gonna make this guy like this. Oh, it looks super cool actually. Looks super cool, guys. See? Well, now you know something else. Well, what I'm gonna do is this.
I'm going to, but I cannot. So I just got to see if I rasterize. I just rasterize it, and I can do this. And I will start. I don't need this guy here. I need it in the pants. Let me show you how the guy's gonna look. Yeah. So I have. So 100% of the time when you are using, concept art, you have to be very resourceful. You have to investigate. There's a bunch of tutorials on YouTube, and also this business is not that somebody just come out with the formula or the one welder and that's it. No, sometimes these things show you that there's more than a way to skin a cat, like somebody put someday. So it's gonna be where I see this manga. If we were in traditional kind of European style, we will try to make this pattern to have the we'll try to have this pattern to have the three-dimensionality. But let me show you this trick, because when you have this trick, you don't need much of three-dimensionality. Um, yeah, I need this guy small. Okay. So it's out of this area. Yeah. No, it's like this and this. Oh, okay, I see it. So it's like this and this. Now we're taking this out. It's a little working, but where's the fork? See? Okay, you have this guy like this.
Wait a minute, guys. So I'm back. Sorry, guys, I'm back.
So right now we have our friend here. Let me get this. This in the materials. So we can just use this this way, or we go multiply, which is like this, and put it a little more. See?
And it looks great or not. It looks great.
See, this is what I just learned, because it doesn't matter if
It is not, wrapping around like a 3D, actual 3D, or Flemish painter. It is not like the pattern is wrapping off the object, but your eyes is telling you that it's wrapping off the object because you've seen the shadows, You see the wrapping up, you see the light, you see the specular shadows there. So it's made that kind of effect. So it's tricking your eyes. That is a good thing about this. Right now you're tricking your eyes. It thinks, oh, it's nice. How can you use this? Oh, so cool. But true is, you just trick your eyes. Yeah, you trick your eyes. You can do this with pretty much everything. See? I hope you like it, guys. This is a nice way to use patterns. For example, in this case, to do a samurai kind of stuff. Also, if you wanna, okay, let's go and do the katanas. Katanas. Yeah, we were in this part. So, oh, which one we were? Oh yeah, this depends. We were doing the pants. So, since we're doing the pants, let me go and do the like a socks or something. Oh, this is the Pemo. Oh yeah. Yeah, to do some 3D to this part. My apologize because this is not the kind of tutorial that many people is thinking. Many people is thinking that you have to do a tutorial that is less than 30 minutes or 20 minutes. But this is something that's taking like 1 or 2 hours, actually 2 hours. But it is what it is. This is what I'm doing because this is the real time that it's taking for me to do this kind of art. And many people say no because an illustration and there is guys that is charge me $5, $3. Well, first off, those guys are cheap. I'm not gonna malign those guys that charge you $5 for the illustration this kind, but you know that in real time it will take us a lot, and it took us a lot to understand and learn these programs. Thing that they will never explain you because they want your business so desperate that they don't care. Okay, so yeah. Oh. Hmm. Okay, so we are doing some, not exactly, but some is okay. Okay, so we have this. Okay, our little rat is there. It's going there, it's getting there. Okay, let me show you how this little fella looks right now. I can just leave it this way. It's gonna be like a nice kind of illustration mangish, but or I can just, you know, use the other approach that I'm gonna show you later in a minute. So let's go and do the katanas. Katanas! Oh, katanas. They're a nuisance because these guys are
Let me do one for the katanas. Katana, Japanese for sword. Guess so. That's what somebody told me one time. Not sure about that. Yeah, that's perfect. We're gonna do the fast version of this because I guess I'm taking so much time and you guys should be like, you know, bored. Hmm. Yeah, you guys should feel like boring. I'm taking too much time. Your time, guys. Um, it's like this. Okay. So, I do the other guy exactly the same way, but I'm gonna make this. Okay. So, these are the cousins. I need something a little more like this. Probably don't see the kind of shadows that I'm creating here because this thing is not showing anything. Oh, sorry. Yes. Same would be with this fella. Okay, so let's do something proper with this guy. Let's do some using this part and also this part because I want something like continuity. Okay. Now this is the missing part. Okay. Yeah, these parts. That's my wife. He's so noisy sometimes. It's not even funny. She's always complaining that it takes too much time to go into. See? Way better. Never underestimate what a little Y can do for your thing. Pretty much when it comes to This is small ones. We need wheels. Pretty small. Yeah, to do the mix because I want this to be like the fats. Like the fats. Okay. Now, I was gonna do this a little more white, but I need this guy's pretty small because we're gonna do this. No, too big. This is small. I'm gonna do this. Specular light. What is this? Oh, I have no time to do my steps. Go. See? Nice. Yeah. Never underestimate the power of a single line. Oh, I don't know where I am right now. These are sorts. Okay. I am here. Okay. So far, katanas with some details. Um, let's do this. Guides to okay, guys. So far, this old fella.
Voila.
So this is the character art that I've been doing. This is the second week. Now I'm 2 hours right now. So this is real time. This is what it took to put this guy like this. Probably there is some guys more, proficient like me than me, and they can do this in less time. I wish they are. I guess this is what it took me, 2 hours actually, and this is why we charge cannot charge for this. This is not. You wanna see like this, you know? It's cool too. Oh, okay. Now I see this. I put in the eraser mode. Oh crap. Okay, you are not the one I'm looking for. Okay, now I see this. Yeah, you have some weird stuff. So yeah, it was from the pants. Okay. Now let me show you one trick. The last trick that I'm gonna use. This time we're gonna create a new layer, and we're gonna make. Oh, no, we don't need this layer. We're gonna make this, which is means that the layer, and let me show you this. Oh yeah, I need it bigger. So we do this. Okay, let me get this color. This guy. So we have this color. Let me get a little more like this. See? So the guy is no longer, this color, but more like a nice color, right? Same with it. Could do the same with this instead of the black. See? Nice. And let me do this the smallest because I need to do this only with a part of this area. Okay. Also, if, for example, you see, no, probably I don't like it. I like it this, in these areas a little more darky, which is pretty much the dark part, which divide the guy. I would call it peripheria. So yeah, it has like two colors in the peripheria. Oh, and we can have like this more. Yeah. See? Way better. We have this color here. And for the part of this, let me. We have this guy here. Not much. And no, I'm gonna need a little more. Yeah, it's way better. So, see, all the part of the rope is gonna be a related color. There's no black, but it's a related color. It's a black version of this, but still, it's the color. We're using the same color. We are using this because for the eye, we are doing like not having this kind of a super strong kind of shadows or lines, but we are just making them a little more appealing for the eye. See? And we can do the same with the rest. Oh, let me do the same with this, which is pretty much the same. Let me do it a little more grayish here. Grayish here in this area. but the part that it comes here is gonna be black. See? So see this guy again. See? They are more the internal shadows, the internal lines. What we're gonna do with internal lines? With internal lines, we are gonna make the internal lines this, that dark. This is internal lines. This is not the defining lines. What is the defining lines? The defining lines is the lines that define the object. That's what I said. I don't remember exactly how they are called, but I call it that way. So yeah. Okay. So we have this guy this way. So let me make him a little more darky. So we are doing like just like this. Some parts, not all of them. Some parts, just parts that are in the periphery of the objects. Yeah, okay. Okay, so you see, it looks way better. This way, it looks way better. Well, this guy here don't have to be like this because I want to make this a little more grays. So I'm gonna put some grays there. Same way here. Some parts is gray, other parts not, because I want that effect. Okay, I'll show you the effect. See? Okay. For you to see the complete, this is a little sketch, and I guess this is all. So guys, thank you again for joining me, and this is pretty much this is a tutorial about how to color this using my method, which is I never said that I just you know discover how to boil water is or I invented the wheel. I don't I haven't reinvented the wheel. So yes, a method that is a collection of different methods that exist, and also is a good way for you to practice and to get out of your mind this kind of like pre-existing ideas about certain programs like Create Studio Paint is only for mangas and anime. Now you can do totally regular kind of concept art and also regular kind of Western illustrations, even for kids, for whatever. And I'm using the stop brushes. I'm not using anything that is not present in the program. It's not something that you have to download. It's just the stock. I'm using the real pen, I mean pencil, and I'm using dense watercolors and also the stock blender. I haven't changed anything. The only thing that I put is like a 4 or 6 in the stabilization, which is good, which is normal. I'm using clear Studio Paint. I'm using my regular XP pen. And also, please subscribe to this channel if you like it. And if you like it, just put me a message or send me a direct message if you are interested. And for me to put the line art version of these guys in JPEG, so you can just
print it, and you can just paint it in your computer, or also if you want it, you can also paint it using you can just print it and paint it using color pencils or watercolor if you want. You can just use it like a like a tracing paper, and you can use also over watercolors. So anyway, if you like it, please subscribe to this channel. And remember, this channel is brought to you by me. I have no sponsors, and please help me out to get to the 1,000 subscribers. If I When I get the 1,000 subscribers, I promise, cross my heart, that I'm going to make a draw and find the three candidates that go out of that draw, and I will draw for them their faces into the a character art, or a comic character that they like the most, and I will do it for free, no problem. And also, please, there is in this video also link for you to donate to help out to this channel to support these artists. And by the way, I'm using a nice program right now. It's called EOS Utility Webcam. I'm using an EOS 231. Is the regular camera that I'm using. Is a digital SLR. Sorry, is a digital SLR. And that camera, I'm connected to my USB to my computer, my workstation there, and is acting as a webcam. This is a beta solution right now, but it's so cool. And also I'm using a restream.io to restream this actual string, to YouTube, Periscope, Facebook, and Twitch. Wow, 4 places. And I hope you like it. Please subscribe to my channel. Stay home, stay healthy. They said that for Monday, everything will be mildly open. Try to wear a mask. And many people is writing so much about this COVID-19 that is a fake, that is a hoax. Others say that is real. But whatever, it's better safe than sorry. So wear a mask and try to obey the social distancing from people. Well, if you're a Westerner like the Americans, you don't have the problem. You don't hugging people, but I'm Hispanic. My ancestors were Spaniards, and I'm Latino, so we love to help people. So yeah, we're huggers by nature. So we have to refrain that. And also, guys, just trust in God, because whatever happens to the sons of God, children of God, man, it's for the good, greater good. So thank you guys for watching me. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And I told you there is a surprise, a nice surprise, when we reach the 1,000 subscribers and help these artists. There's a donate link there for PayPal. Thank you so much, and God bless you all.